during the 28-hour special broadcast with a lot of other stuff. Just get ready. A lot of surprises, you name it. But before we go any further, I want to play what Farage had to say about I'm not leaving the movement. And he told me some things at dinner a couple nights after we did the interview. And he said, listen, I've been the leader of the party since we founded it 24 years ago. I just can't keep leading it forever. I got to let new blood in. Obviously, there's been security threats. People have come after him. He doesn't get into that. He wants to spend some time with his family. He's still in the EU Parliament for a couple more years, but he said, I'm not going to be the leader of the party anymore. I'm giving folks in the UK government, like the Conservatives, a chance to do the right thing and follow the voters' edict. And if they don't, I'll be forced to come back. But boy, they're putting the screws to us, trying to shut our economy down right now, and I'm going to be battling to make sure that the EU doesn't try to persecute us. So he's an amazing leader. He's very charismatic. He's very, very plain-spoken, but it's powerful. And so I'm glad to hear he's not leaving the movement, even though they set up his plane, they attacked his car repeatedly. The police in France and elsewhere have said, no, they're trying to kill him. And Farage does have folks coming after him. It's very serious. Very serious. So can you imagine? I mean, the globalists aren't playing games, and they have really, really tried to take this guy out. So he is a hero. Here's part of that interview.
Margaret Howell reporting for Infowars.com here in Cleveland, where we just saw Nigel Farage speak to Tucker Carlson. He was addressing the questions of where is he going, why is he leaving, what's he going to do next. He said he's going to stay in an advisory position and be very much a part of leading Britain out of the EU. He answered our questions. He wouldn't comment, though, on whether or not he felt safe. He said he doesn't discuss the personal side of this. But victorious leader came to Cleveland. He wouldn't comment on the RNC other than to say that he doesn't like Hillary Clinton. And we asked him some pretty interesting questions. You're going to catch our interview in just a second. I'm Margaret Howell reporting for Infowars.com. Ask you why you're going to quit, because we're just wondering, like, what's going to happen to the movement if you go?
Well, I'm not going completely. I'm not disappearing. I'm not moving up into the mountains to live in a shed. You know, I mean, I'm going to go on being an MEP until we exit the European Union and overseeing that process and commenting on it. And I will, if I can, hold the government's feet to the fire to make sure that they hold faith with the people that have voted. And I'm still going to be around and commenting and saying things and doing things and supporting the party. You can't be leader forever. Nobody can be leader. No matter who you are, you can't do it forever. I've been doing this a hell of a long time. I've dedicated 25 years of my life to getting back the democratic independence of our country. We've won this referendum. I think now was the right time.
You're not retiring fully. You're just...
I am not retiring. You know, I'm not going to go and sit and, as I say, up in the hills and smoke a pipe all day. No.
Are you worried that the globalists are going to try to hijack this Brexit?
They can try if they want to, but it won't work. Those people who made their minds up to vote for Brexit, despite all the threats that they were getting from the international community, the political... I mean, the US president even came to London to tell them what they should do. And they made their minds up. They struck out. They voted for freedom. That's what they voted for. If they don't get it, if they're betrayed, then you'll see even bigger political shocks than we saw with the Brexit result.
Are you worried about your personal safety at all?
Well, whether I am or not, I don't discuss that sort of thing in public. It doesn't make sense.
All right, now, again, we're going to have I think it's 45 minutes, at least the clip I saw, several interviews. Leanne did an interview, Hal did, others did. So our crew interviewed him 3 different times. So it's big. We got a Tucker Carlson interview in there as well. That's all coming up tomorrow. I'll tell you, get to know Tucker Carlson in person. He's been under to visit me a couple times. And I got to have dinner with him for about 2 hours. And he's a patriot. He's just kind of been waiting for America to wake up so that he could successfully, I guess, keep his job at Fox News, telling the truth. But you can also see the writing on the wall that they're not going to let people tell the truth at Fox News. Just since they forced Ailes out last Wednesday, I've already been watching Fox every day. Massive difference in coverage. I'm watching it, and it's like I'm watching CNN, unless it's Hannity. And I think they're going to fire Hannity. I mean, they want to destroy it. They want to destroy it. They want to shut this country down. Rupert Murdoch's a Hillary supporter, and his sons are even worse. A lot of folks go, good, everybody will just come to your show. I don't want to be successful on the backs of people who were censored and shut down, but it's more important than that. I'm not a moron. If they can hijack and infiltrate and take down Fox News, as David Brock swore he would do in a Politico article 4 years ago with, quote, infiltrators, he said, we got Soros money. It was in Politico. We have already infiltrated alternative media. We're targeting it, and we're going to sabotage it and bring it down, and Fox News is front and center. And we have specifically, folks, I can tell you, dealt with Media Matters operatives. And he said, we are infiltrating. Infiltration, military operations. They mean business. And now that they're finishing up at Fox, they're going to try to absorb that. That's a big elephant to eat. They're going to move on to Drudge next, Rush Limbaugh, and then yours truly. And they're like, well, Alex, you don't agree with Rush Limbaugh on quite a few things. It doesn't matter. He's pro-gun. He doesn't want to destroy the country. He doesn't want to deindustrialize us. Rush is not a globalist. They're going to get him. People go, well, wow, you've been up against him for 19 years. Aren't you glad? No, I'm not glad. I never wanted to be up against Rush Limbaugh. The network I'm on doesn't tell me what to say, but they told me what time slot I was on if I wanted to be carried on that network. Now, I'm separate from the network now for many years, own my own show, control it, have my own separate media operations, but this is the slot I'm in. I was a nighttime host, and but I know I take no pleasure. I mean, I don't know if people's brains work, that if Drudge went away, I would get way less traffic. See, people don't get it. A movement needs to grow and take back the country and the world. I'm not a movement of myself that wants to be the one big guy as the ship goes under. And I'm sitting on top of the crow's nest, you know, as the last person to go under the ice. No, thank you. I mean, it's just the way people think. No wonder some people aren't successful. I can't tell you the so-called liberty movement, how many other talk show hosts and people have come and gone who had talent because all they wanted to do was hijack the movement, control it, and make stuff up about people like it was some kind of junior high prom where everyone's putting out rumors about the quarterback because they're jealous of him. I mean, it's mental illness. I'm in a war to try to defeat tyranny for my family because I believe in a level playing field and know how dangerous tyranny is historically. And so everybody better understand what's happening at Fox News is bad news. I've had so many people celebrate it to me. Oh, I hate them. They're fake conservatives. Look at them. Oh, my gosh. Oh, of course, they're going to make it liberal now. Ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, do you understand what this means? I guess you don't. And it's not even bad people that are talking to me like this. I mean, they're overall smart folks, but yes, Fox has been controlled for a certain extent because Ailes was being threatened the whole time. They want to control the conservative movement, and they want to model it after kind of the Rockefeller Republicans and kind of slowly put it to sleep and slow it down. And so folks think that there's really an opposition. But it became a real opposition because a lot of people that were hosts weren't going to go along with the destruction of the country. And so Roger Ailes wouldn't punish and fire people like Sean Hannity. But now you're going to see the hatchet come down, folks. Absolute tyranny. And you're going to see Hillary try to steal the election. We're seeing the real fall of this country right now. America's fighting for its life. Now, Paul Joseph Watson will be joining us from London, taking over for 2 hours. Then Jakari Jackson is taking over because I've got to get ready for the 28-hour marathon transmission. And quite frankly, we just bit off more than we could chew with the RNC and DNC and the size of our crew, everything else we're doing. We normally have weeks to get ready for these 28-hour broadcasts. We started getting ready Friday. I was up here Saturday and Sunday working with Anthony Gucciardi and one of the tech people. Anthony worked till about midnight on Sunday. I'm not complaining or not about having to work. It's just that I've got to get this ready because we've got some big breaking news. We've got a lot more taking place. I've got to make some phone calls. Right now, I know a whole bunch of huge developments that if I could tell you would be probably top stories in the country. And I've pretty much been authorized to talk about this, but it's so big, a lot of this, I kind of hesitate. Because if I don't put it out there just right, I mean, the truth's the truth, but it's how it's put out. Something mega huge almost has no effect. petty little stupid stuff gets picked up and is huge for some reason, but really important stuff just gets ignored. And I don't know how to describe this. It's surreal to watch Hillary Clinton steal all those states. So I have to go back and get all those states she stole. That's what I'm going to basically take off and do in the next few hours. And go get all the articles and show the states they took and show the states Sanders really won. I got to add up the numbers. We've done this before, but when I add up the numbers, show the graphs so people can see it. And show the New York Daily News article about it. To their credit, they reported on it. And illustrate it for people. We've got to illustrate it for people that Sanders really did win and that the superdelegates have just told everybody, we don't care what you do, starting in New Hampshire, ending in California, we're going to give it to Hillary. And all the articles where they said, look, we don't care, we're going to do it. And the Republicans saying, we don't care, we're going to do it. I've got to somehow, put that out to just ask America, is this really who we are? Because they just hope we're too lazy to get into the minutia of it and understand it's total suspension of the election, but they act like there was an election. It's how the Soviet Union would do things. But really, it's how Communist China does it with a Central Committee and a Politburo. Now, the Bernie people know it, and they're hopping mad. But this is a major referendum on, can you steal a primary? Can you steal an election? And then the big news is the Trump camp has been working late into the night the last few evenings with top experts on this, chronicling Hillary's frauds. And to their credit, just like Trump came out and said, hey, the Republicans are stealing states from me, and the Republicans are trying to say superdelegates count, this is a fraud, that forced them to back off and not try to actually steal it. They said they were, but Trump spoke out, so it backfired. Well, Trump's going to have to speak out about if Crooked Hillary stole this from Bernie and show the numbers and show the graphs. And if I got to do the work for the campaign, I will. Because I know they're going over all of it. We need Trump to come out and say, listen, lady, I'm ahead of you in the polls. Don't you think for a minute you're going to steal jack squat. It's the only thing that'll stop her doing it. And I know they agree with me. But I'm just sitting here just with this feeling of history in front of us. Almost like desperation if in the future I nostalgically look back and haven't done my job. It's like desperation before the fact. It's just totally animating that I shouldn't even be here on the radio. I should be dropping all of this to try to collate and codify all that info. And folks, don't wait for me to do it. You need to put it together.
Thank you.
I mean, this is other media, Daily Caller, WorldNet Daily. I don't care about the credit. We got to put the case on. It's a fact. It's already been admitted. We got to show it. People ask me, do I get on a power trip with the fact that InfoWars is the leading edge tip of the spear against globalism? And no, it's the opposite. But my mom, I was talking to her on the phone yesterday, and she said, I'm so glad to hear you're at least excited and happy for the first time in years when it comes to talking about the state of the world. Because I know we're losing. I know we're under total world government. I know they're horribly evil, and the public's in a trance. But I have been celebrating a little bit in the last few days because I already knew this from sources, but I confirmed in the highest levels of the resistance in Europe, Russia, and here in the United States that what I'm seeing on the street is what they're seeing, and that I'm not only influencing, and my crew's not only influencing the general public and helping awaken them, not telling them what to see, but taking the blinders off, but that also world leaders, as I already knew, but I've confirmed across the board, listen to this broadcast, whether it's the UK government or the Syrian government or the Russian government or the Japanese government or the South African government. I mean, it is mind-blowing. And that's what one of these major leaders just kept telling me. They said, listen, it's the same way. You don't realize when you're fighting how big an effect you're having until you finally go through the storm. And it's not a feeling like, oh, I won the football game. That's such an empty feeling. Stupid. It's like at least I'm struggling and I'm in the fight and we may have a chance. But then you get desperate, and you're like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's all this number crunching and all this documentation and, all this digging the info up that you already seen and know. And it's just like,